And you've seen those recoveries. You've seen those people come back to you 10 years later, 15 years later and say, thank you so much for helping me. My life has been productive since. As dark as it seems where you are right now, if you're listening to me and this is happening to you, who should they contact?
The first thing that I would consider doing, Beck, is trusting somebody close to them. Trusting somebody close to them that they can open up and share with.
And maybe someone that can give them some shelter if they need it, right?
Shelter. If they're still currently being abused, or the abuse is past abuse, and they're still living with it, and it's still affecting them emotionally, then talk to somebody. Talk to somebody that you trust. There are outlets out there.
You're not alone.
You're
This happens to a lot of people.
So not alone.
There's so many people. You might even know the people it's happening to and not know that it happened to them. Right? So there's a lot of them, a lot of people in your situation. If you're listening out there, like you're saying, you won't even, you might, your best friend might have happened to them and they got through it and they went to, and you don't even know. It's not something you go around broadcasting.
Of course not.
But you're not alone. And that's the most important, I think they need to understand. You're not alone.
The problem that will probably exist long after we're gone with this subject is the stigma that this has anything to do with sex. It doesn't. This is abuse. This is abuse of the worst kind that leaves scars. Without a doubt, it leaves scars.
Look, that mine wasn't even that crazy, huh? And I still remember it to this day, because that, especially at a young age, I feel like you remember more about that part of your life.
Because at that moment, it was a traumatic event that happened to you.
Never forgot it.
That happened, and you know, for anybody, for
my parents didn't hit me.
Any
you get
person.
my point? So who the is this lady hitting me? You get my point?
And I don't want to just make this sound like it's only female victims. There are male victims too. I mean, there are male victims also, and that this goes for any male that has been sexually abused or physically.
Sometimes I feel like it might be harder for the men to come forward because they feel like, man, they're embarrassed. Maybe
there's a range of feelings that happen from like we talked about, embarrassment, guilt, fear of coming out and talking about this. That's understandable. It's completely understandable. And unless any of us have lived with what they have lived through, we can't sit here and say, oh, I get it.
I would have said something. You don't know what you would have done.
No, I don't get it.
You would never know. Unless you've
sympathize.
been in
I sympathize.
Absolutely.
I understand how traumatic that these events are that you've had to go through in your life, and to come forward and to talk about it. The strength that's required to do that is incredible for those that come forward and do that. And you know, I give every person, you know, all the power in the world to be able to come forward and to speak about it, and to know that it's not easy. It's not easy to do it. But you have people that will do everything they can within their power to help you move on from this. Because that's what everything is about, Beck. Is everything is about how do we help this person move on from this? You know,
save a life, man.
Yeah.
How do you save their life?
You know, how do you move on
Make them
from
productive
this?
again. Make them.
Some people do not. Some victims, Beck, get no satisfaction in seeing somebody get punished, or going to prison, or you know, suffering consequences like that. They still feel guilty, but again,
It'll happen to someone else.
And I'm saying is that if you're being victimized,
You got to come forward.
and there is a possibility that person is doing it to somebody else,
And did it to people before you.
you know, so
You got to be
hard,
the
but-
one that's got to be brave and stop it.
But the support is out there. There are people there that care, that devote their lives to helping these people.
Do you have a way, if my viewers need to get in touch with you, just for if someone is being victimized, that they could reach out?
Yeah.
So we'll put up the email.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it. Yep. I'll give you an email.
I'm going to put it in this video. If you guys need advice, totally confidential, reach out to Erick wherever you are in the world, and he will do the best to help you.
Bek Lover.